Did you say we're live?
We should be.
Okay.
Volume should be on. Should be good.
Okay.
We should be.
Thank you, Megan, for checking. I didn't even know that we were live. Yep. Good morning, everyone. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Good morning, Alex and Mitch. How's everybody doing this morning on this wonderful Thursday? A little chilly here in old St. Louis, Missouri. Megan, do we sound good? Well, Vic's not on, but do I sound good? I'm just kidding. Good morning, Heather. Oh, Heather, yeah, you should be able to watch us today just fine. There were some major updates within what AT&T actually that really wreaked havoc on a lot of different systems, just like within our area. So they were here yesterday taking care of things. And so today it should be a very uneventful day as far as technical issues. But we do have a lot to talk about today. So it's going to be a great show. Good morning, Ben. Hey, Cindy. Good morning. Hey, Paul. Good morning to you. How's the weather up there where you are? Oh, 17. Ooh, yeah, that's cold. Mitch, cold in the south too. Yep, I guess it's kind of just that time of the year where it's going to be cold everywhere. Greg, check. 1 2 1 2. Good morning, Stephanie. There they.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm having loading video,
job.
producing the show, trying to get and doing Joe at the same time. And Eric, I'm going to be morbidly late. So then you have to take Eric's shot out, then put it back in.
Yep.
And so I'm doing 5 jobs. But where'd our music go?
Good morning, Jamie. Not sure.
Oh, I know where it went.
Did you want me to sing?
No.
Are you sure?
I've heard that you're not very good. I heard you're a dancer, not a singer.
Who told you that?
Did you forget I know a lot of people who you've spent a lot of significant time with?
I know. Well, you might want to ask him again. Ask him to say, are you sure Megan's not a great singer? And then get back to me on that.
I heard you're a dancer.
I am a dancer. I love to dance.
Where's my... Oh, thank you guys. Hey, Roland. Hi, Megan. Thank you. We're trying.
Yes. Roland, how are you doing?
Megan says sing Megan.
Oh. Well, I will be taking requests today after the show. So just send me your requests and I will make sure that I put a little jingle in. Maybe in one of next week's show. Or
Megan's a triple threat.
Yeah.
She can sing, dance, and act.
Oh boy. Yeah. I definitely cannot act. That is...
No. She said Sages love to dance.
Yes, that is true. But acting is one of the most uncomfortable and awkward things you could ask me to do.
My youngest son is a Sag. He had a birthday yesterday.
Aww.
And he doesn't like to dance.
No?
No.
I'm
going to have to teach him. I'm teaching him some of my moves.
Oh, I was going to offer me and Megan services. Maybe we could teach him how to dance.
I've learned how to use my hips.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey now. What's up?
YMCA. Yeah, the YMCA, of all the songs that could make the most tremendous comeback, it has to be the YMCA. Paul. But it suits Donald Trump for some reason, doesn't it? The YMCA
Could
song?
you do... Here, I got it. You're set.
You want me to do it?
Nope, I got you. I got it.
Oh, the lights. We needed to turn the lights down. Oh, there we go. Oh, Stephanie, I know the feeling. Sometimes it's just better, though, if the men don't dance, if you know what I mean. Sometimes it's just like, maybe just stand there and bob your head a little bit and not move. The lower half of the body might just be a better.
We went bluer with our background. Can you tell?
I love
You haven't
it.
said anything yet.
I love it.
Megan says
so
it looks good. Thank you, Megan.
Yeah,
I was asking
love
for
it.
help.
Yeah, it really looks good. Lights out. Hey, Robert, how's it going? Are you ready for Christmas? Paul's asking, are we ready for Christmas? I'm ready for Christmas. I just have the wrapping to do, but of course the house is decorated. And I think my favorite part about getting ready for Christmas is putting all of the kids' pictures out from the years past of them at Christmas, whether it's with Santa or by the tree. I think that's hands down my absolute favorite part. And then they always go, "Gosh, Mom, why'd you have to put those all over the house?" I'm like, you will be appreciative someday.
Sorry, I can't talk. I've got so much to do.
Michelle, so
sorry about that.
What's been happening with the show is there was I guess it was a nationwide update that went out for AT&T. And so
Sunday night is what they told me.
Yeah. And so a lot of places, a lot of businesses, a lot of residential, my home is one of them because I'm in the area as well, had major issues. So things weren't syncing. So we had a professional come yesterday and spent a lot of time with Vic, and they seemed to got everything worked out, and they were super apologetic. So we apologize as well. What?
I've been super stressed this morning.
You changed your part on your hair. You changed the direction.
I didn't try. It's because
it looks really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
you're going to the right. Usually it's going the other way.
I had like a 13-hour day yesterday. We all have long days.
Yeah.
And then didn't get as much sleep as I normally do. And then it was stressful this morning trying to get all this stuff together. But it's good. Joe's with his girlfriend this morning. So Joe's not here. She's having a procedure done. So he just wanted to be with her.
Yeah. Because he's a nice man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Eric Johnson. Eric, I love you. Eric, of course, texts, "I'm going to be morbidly late today."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So it'll be, it'll just be a fun day of maybe some surprises and hopefully no technical surprises, but we'll be graced with Eric's presence at some point. But Michelle, yes, no panic mode. Do not be in panic mode. We are not going anywhere. We just had to get all of our systems right.
No, but if people still want to donate, they can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
Help keep us on. I still can't believe I paid. People, we all have bills and it takes money. $200 just for our freaking fiber a month. Mm-hmm. And then we have service calls. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's craziness.
It is.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for liking, subscribing,
cold.
Sharing the show, and letting people know what we have going on. We are grateful for that.
It is a cold Thursday.
It's winter.
And it is 9:00.
I know. I'm looking at our video clips right now, making sure I hit the right one, because if you barely put the arrow on it, it starts.
Oh, my goodness.
And you're like, oh, no. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get the show started. Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show. I didn't take the arrow off. Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret in the house, Eric Johnson en route, said he was morbidly late. Those things happen. It is 12/12. That's right, December 12th of 2024. I just like how it looks today. 12122024. It just goes together. It goes together very nicely. We're glad you're with us today. News headlines, politics, what happened with the 2024 election, Donald Trump coming in, and the rebirth of America for 2025. Lots to get to today. We are grateful. I mean, I'm grateful. I'll speak for myself, but I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. But former FBI director Chris Wray gone. Instead of Trump firing him, he takes off. We'll get into why that was a little interesting. How about this? How about Jill Biden making fun of Kamala Harris at a public national forum? They hate each other, and they always did. This is why you can't trust anything from the former Democratic Party. And unless you see changes in people in that party, you can't ever trust the Democrats again until they change. I'm really bummed out about this one. Seriously, pissed. Caitlin Clark has gone woke.
Me too.
This is in the midst of all the good news. It's really bad. We'll break down why and what happened and all of those things that are going on. Just sad. She was named the Time Athlete of the Year. And I'm sorry, it goes back to Taylor Swift, and we'll explain why. And if I'm her parents, I'm a little upset. And you know what? It just doesn't seem like anything she has ever done before. So that's Caitlin Clark. We're going to give you a chance to get into that. Good news, Donald Trump opening the New York Stock Exchange bell. I think he just did. It was supposed to be, I think, 8:30 our time. I think he just did it.
Yeah, he did.
I don't have time to go look up that video, but he did that. He's also been named the Time Person of the Year.
So cool.
That's pretty interesting. And for people who like Twix bars, RFK Jr. says no more Twix bars as of January 20th. I mean, Pop-Tarts, also a massive issue. People, the things that America and the FDA has allowed us to eat that RFK Jr. is saying are terrible for us, the poison in it that other countries won't even allow their citizens to buy is insane. I say, RFK Jr., thank you. I trust you.
Me too.
And right out of the gate, congratulations to Carrie Lake. She has now been named by President Donald Trump the new director voice of America. And it's a perfect spot for her, the former top-rated television news anchor who got screwed not once but twice in the state of Arizona when it comes to elections, when it comes to Maricopa County. And if you don't believe me, go do a deep dive into what has happened with voting to her. You knew that she would find something within, or Donald Trump would find something within his team to put her. She's too valuable. Her voice is too good. She has had Donald's back the entire time, and we are grateful for that. So we got a lot to get to. Plus, we'll talk about drone videos over New Jersey and some drone video from Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. We broadcast out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. The Ozarks, a huge place, a popular place when it comes to vacationing, living, getting away for a weekend. What the hell was in the sky over Lake of the Ozarks this week? So lots to get to, Megan.
Yes, there's so much to get to.
You were still wanting to talk about Daniel Penny.
Oh my gosh.
And I refuse to
yes.
say the suspect's name in the Brian Thompson situation, the unaliving of him. But man, it was from so much is happening day after day.
And the only reason why I wanted to touch on that was because, you know, we had some issues, technical issues that we had no control over on Tuesday. And, you know, I just
AT&T Monday and Tuesday.
But I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that that was a great day for that kid. What they subjected that kid to was completely unnecessary. I hope
you're talking about Daniel Penny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hope that Alvin Bragg, I hope that they do more.
Where they're looking at suing him.
Yeah. And they need to do a deep dive and inquiry into him. Talk about abuse of power. I think that he really, really, really needs to be let go. And the people
you
voted
don't
him in.
let go somebody who's elected, though.
I know. And the people voted him in. There are ways that he could be forced out, but then that goes against
no, that's not going to happen.
What we do.
They're going to have to vote him out.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because I feel like that's just going to be too long of a process. And as we've seen, we continue to let this guy abuse his power. And again, what he did to this young gentleman is just literally just a crying shame. And I'm so glad that he was exonerated. And I think that the people that are threatening him, I think that all of the people that were standing behind the guy that passed away, I think that by the threats, I think that they need to be held accountable. And I'm just sick and tired of all of the race baiting. I really am. I think we're never going to get anywhere in this country if they continue to be so divisive.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. It never stops, Megan. That's the problem. And it's not intended to stop. I'm just grateful and trying to focus on the positive news that we see.
Well, and you know, Vic, talking about Caitlin Clark too, I think a lot of the racial divide agenda is what caused this girl to bend her knee.
It is. It totally is.
And it's just sad. And
so do we talk about Caitlin Clark now then?
Well,
I was going a different direction, but you just brought up.
You go.
Hey, Donald Trump is our man. And I absolutely love seeing Donald Trump get his deal. He is our man. He is the guy that is making things happen. The thing that I love about him being the Time Person of the Year is you start to see a little bit of a changing. I say a little bit of a changing when it comes to media.
Yeah.
They know they're getting crushed. They know that Donald Trump is the man. So congrats to him from that standpoint. Not only does it give him, even though I don't put a lot of stock into Time, I mean, Anthony Fauci, the fraudster, was also a Time Person of the Year. And now he's running for the hills and doesn't want to be seen anywhere. So Donald Trump named Person of the Year. Then today, he's at the New York Stock Exchange. By the way, first time he's ever done it, even being from New York. That's how popular Donald Trump is. But guess what other member of the Trump family also rang in the New York Stock Exchange already? And usually it's served for dignitary. It's safe for dignitaries, celebrities. Melania did it. Melania rang the bell for the New York Stock Exchange back in 2019.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I did not remember that.
So she beat Donald Trump to the bell.
Oh, I love it.
So to speak.
That's awesome.
So, you know, we talk about him being the Time Man of the Year.
He deserves that too.
He does. And I just love who he is, what he's become, all of that, how it's working out. Because Trump every day, things seem to get better. At least they do from my standpoint.
Well, they definitely are getting better, and it's getting better on both sides. It's awesome to see people on the left coming to the light. And what I'm sure that they have an agenda, Mark Zuckerberg being one of them. But, you know, when you start seeing people like that just want to be by him and want to jump on his train, you know that the time has come that the American people they spoke and they want change and they want to see America be great again. And these people that have tried to, just invoke the woke mind virus.
Invoke the woke.
Yes. For the last 4 years, it's done. It's over. And I love seeing that. I love seeing these people they want to be a part of this. Why? Because it's going to be awesome. And then everybody knows it.
Well, we're appreciative of the work that he's trying to do right now. Glenn says Reagan was the only other president to ring the bell. How about that?
Yeah.
He rang the opening bell this morning. Yeah, Glenn, that's what we were talking. You must just be joining us right now. We've been talking about that. Greg says he loves the new look of the set. We appreciate that as well. We've been working on that too. Yeah. That stuff doesn't happen in like 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
No.
And
it doesn't.
Yeah. So
and without a little blood and without a little blood, sweat, and tears, let me just tell you that.
So Caitlin Clark. Let me explain this.
You love Caitlin too.
I did. I don't anymore.
I know. And are you sad?
I am sad. And I'm sad because of what she stood for. She came out. She would not take the bait. The media tried. Now, she went through a terrible year of being abused in the WNBA. Fouled harder than any woman had ever been fouled before, had more horrible things said to her on the court. And guess who was on the other side of it? It was Black women telling her she didn't deserve to be there. She wasn't good enough. And she had the best rookie campaign of any woman ever. She refused to get into politics. She refused to talk about issues. She refused to talk about the election. She wanted to talk about basketball. Michael Jordan was amazing. He stayed away from all of it. He wouldn't get into it. LeBron James, of course, sold his soul, and we've shown him dressed like a little pansy and going to Diddy parties and saying there was no thing like a Diddy party. Kobe Covington actually called him out, UFC fighter, yesterday, and thinks that he needs to be investigated. LeBron's a coward. He's always been a coward. Whether it's sticking up for China and their shoes and the labor that comes from it, not being fair when it comes to the NBA.
Anti-police,
anti-white. Nobody should ever spend a dime if they know any better on LeBron James, if they love their country. It's just how he is. And that's fine. He can go be how he is. He went after Donald Trump, said he was afraid that his daughter was going to be hurt because Donald Trump was going to be president. That's the mentality. The WNBA was even worse than the NBA. The best thing they had was Caitlin Clark. She refused to bow her knee until now. Caitlin Clark has now come out and said that there is no doubt she has white privilege. I repeat, Caitlin Clark says she has white privilege. So she is now backing the white privilege woke mentality for the world to see. All right. That's where you want to go, Caitlin. That's fine. If that's how you feel, that's fine.
It has nothing to do with her extreme talent. Has nothing to do with that. It was just because she's white. And that's where she got to be where she is right now. And the abuse that this girl, this 22-year-old girl, has taken from people like Angel Reese and several other players, it was nonstop. You saw it. We all saw it on the court, left and right. I mean, that girl was physically being knocked over every time you turn around, blink an eye, but off the court as well. And the Black WNBA players were so upset and threatened by the fact that a white player was bringing all of this attention to the game. And it did. And that's the fact. Personally, I had never paid attention to it until Caitlin Clark. I'll just be totally honest with you.
You're like most people.
Right. And the slogan, I don't know if anybody else was paying attention to it, but their big slogan over the last 2 years has make basketball Black again. Since Caitlin Clark came out and, basically was just this awesome, phenomenon. So I'm not sure if she just got backed into the corner so much that she doesn't believe what she's saying, but she's feeling somehow coerced into saying these things. But it is so sad because she did what so many people, admired her for. She got up, she played her game, she stayed out of the politics, she didn't get nasty, she didn't fight back, all of these things. And I think that that's what young people looked up to her for, young athletes, but
there's a
all of
reason why
us.
she was the most popular, literally one of the most popular athletes in America.
Mm-hmm.
And she refused, and she complained at certain times too. The thing that really gets me, it's not that, it's her comment and her quotes. Now, she was named the Time Athlete of the Year. So here's what she says, and we're going to tell you who she's been hanging out with.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. Okay, that's fine. You can say that. It's all right to be white and black. I don't know why you have to bring attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
This league has kind of been built on them. What that means is they were jealous, like Megan said. They were going after her, saying this league was here before you. Now all anybody wants to do is watch you. But every day, everywhere Caitlin goes, even from her own teammates, because she's the best player in the league, being a white woman and a young woman, they're jealous, they're envious, they're entitled. And this is the problem with race division that Obama started.
Mm-hmm.
He brought more attention to us looking at the color of your skin. And it's sad it doesn't have to be there. She goes on to say, the more we can appreciate that, talking about black women building the WNBA, which I don't even know why, and highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players, because Caitlin Clark, everyone wants to invest in her, so she feels guilty.
Mm-hmm.
To invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think that's very important. Okay, you can say that without saying you have white privilege.
Yeah.
I quote, she continues, I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, the same black women that treated you like shit, Caitlin, all season long, then that's going to be a beautiful thing. So it's tough. She's in a league that's mostly black, that's very racist. And we saw it. It's not our opinion. We provide facts. They were racist to her all season long. They were officiating, coaching. It was sad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just there. Anybody who wants to dive into the white privilege mentality, you know who they are, you know how their brain functions, and you can't even have a conversation with them. Yeah. And if you think you're going to open their mind, forget about it. They're off the charts when it comes to entitled, angry, liberal, mean people, especially now because Kamala Harris was one of those, and she got her ass kicked. And I just have to say one. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Megan.
Well, no,
and then I'll add the part of this.
I just want to know what their definition of white privilege
Great point.
is.
What is white privilege?
What is white privilege? Does it mean that you are privileged because you are born Caucasian? Because I will be the first to tell you that that is the biggest lie ever. I see young children, older people that are white that will never, ever, ever see the opportunities like a lot of these black athletes, like a LeBron, like an Angel Reese, like an Alvin Braggs. They will never have those opportunities to go to school or to play in leagues like this. Why? Because they're not privileged, because they don't have any opportunity to do those things. And they were born white. They weren't asked to be born white, but they are white. Does this apply to black people as well? It does. Does it apply to brown people as well? It does. So if they're going to start using this white privilege slogan like they do make basketball black again, I want a definition behind it, because it's unfair, it's untrue, and you cannot use your emotions every time something doesn't go your way or every time you're upset and then do the race game again. And then they want to turn around and point their fingers at white people and call people white supremacists and all of these other things. It's coming from a certain group of people, and they I don't know if it's anger. I don't know if it's vengeance. I don't know if they're bitter. I don't know what it is, what the source is, but it absolutely has no place in our society. They are probably the same people that want to teach CRT in our schools. It's all about the color of your skin. We're trying to move away from that. We're trying to raise our children to not see people by the color of their skin, to not judge people. Just like Martin Luther King said, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin, but who you are as a person. So how are we ever going to do that? How are we ever?
We're not. It's not ever going to change.
Yeah,
Just understand, race will always be there because there's always going to be race baiters, Megan. There's always going to be the Al Sharptons of the world. There's always going to be organizations that need controversy so that they can get money, that they will continue to try to divide race. Now we can say, oh, it should be this way and it should be that way. It's an evil thought process. It's an entitlement thought process. It's a victim thought process. And it's an easy one. It's a lazy one. And you'll find people who buy into it. And then they put pressure on people like Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark stayed away from it. Then during the off season, something happened. Guess who she started hanging out with and has become besties with?
Yep.
All it takes is one
T
bad
Swift.
apple, Taylor Swift. She started hanging out with Taylor Swift. This is why I always say, okay, you can like Taylor Swift music, fine. But then if the music draws you in, so it's interesting to me that all of a sudden she starts hanging out with Taylor Swift, sitting in her luxury suite with Travis Kelce at their concert. And they start hanging out and talking. And then all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark's like, oh, I'm white privileged. She starts hanging out with Travis Kelce, who we know he told you all to get that vaccine when we knew how bad it was. Travis sold out. Okay. At one point in time, he was a good tight end. And then he became a coward. He became a sellout. And I'm sorry, Chiefs fans, that's what he is. And that's what he became. And you know, he can like Kamala Harris, and that's who he liked. He did not like Trump, and that's fine. He's not forced into that. But just know who Travis Kelce is. And just know, Chiefs fans, that Travis Kelce does not like Trump. He's not a conservative. He sold out to Taylor Swift. He sold out to the media. He sold out for dollars. And then they went after Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, who was one of the best stories of 2024, has now bended her knee against this country and is telling white people you're basically racist if you don't put black people first.
Oh, here's Taylor Swift's biggest fan.
So with that being said, as great of a first year as she had, and she was the draw, and all these black basketball players got very jealous. What happens now?
Well,
do her fans turn away? Do less of them go?
You know,
I doubt it.
Yeah.
There will be some people. But we want heroes.
Yeah.
We want people to look forward to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in 2025, we get cowards like LeBron James and Caitlin Clark. We don't get the real heroes like Michael Jordan, who refused to get into all the political stuff.
Yeah.
She had to bow down, guys. Hi, how are you doing? Well, happy Friday to me.
Let me put you in here, Eric. She did not have to bow
She
down.
had to.
Everything
Guys,
was going,
stop
Eric,
it.
everything was going great.
Stop it.
She stayed away
Look,
from politics.
When you have a league,
I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it.
When you have a league that's 90% African American females, and here's the deal: back in the early 2000s, I actually was on radio following this thing called the Seattle Rain. You remember the Seattle Rain?
I do.
And then they turned into the Storm, and it was WNBA, and it was the NBA bending over backwards to try to do a league for women. And there were 4 people there. There was 4 people there, including a circus monkey who was selling hot dogs. And we were like, okay, we're going to make this as
Were those
great as
small people with pyrotechnics
yeah,
too?
yeah. And the little monkey would pop out of the box. You want a hot dog?
Oh my gosh.
And it was the Seattle Rain, and it kind of came up, and all of a sudden, no Caitlin Clark. You still went to the arenas probably 2 years ago, Vic, maybe, and you would
How about
see
last year?
You would see them on ESPN 5. And they would be at like 2 in the morning, and it would be like whatever Cleveland team playing whatever Los Angeles team. And there might be 100 people there, and they would put them all down in the front row so that it looked like there was more people there. And then all of a sudden, this chick comes out, and she's hitting 3-point bombs all over the place, making her college almost go to the national championship. She's the Larry Bird of the NBA. She's not really all that exciting to watch, to be honest with you. She knows how to hit free throws, correct? But here's the problem: African American ladies think they take ownership over this.
Sure.
This is our thing. You didn't build this, we did. No, you didn't. She's the Taylor Swift of the WNBA. Now, if you go to a WNBA game and she's coming to your town, there's little white girls that are buying her jersey. They love her. It's not because she's white. It's because they followed her career. What college did she go to? Vic?
Iowa.
She went to Iowa. They followed her career, and they also followed Angel Reese out of LSU. That was a thing. So now there's this interest in this league that didn't have a lot of interest before, right?
Yeah,
they should be bending over backwards for her.
They should. By the way, it's close to 98% black.
98% black. Who cares? But the black players.
Well, they do, and they're just mad. Angel Reese is mad that she couldn't draw the attention that Caitlin Clark did. That's it. That's the bottom line.
But Eric, yes, everything you said is right. But Caitlin Clark bowed her knee.
She had to.
Why?
She had to.
Because she's 22 years old and impressionable.
She did not have to.
No,
she didn't.
Okay,
she had everything in the palm of her hand.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you're wrong.
Well, okay,
because there's no courage. If I was to join a band, let's say I was to go out and join Fishbone. That's a bad example.
What band would you want to go join?
Let's say if I went out and I was they said, Eric, you are this up and coming bass player. No, they don't. We'll talk about that later. They said, Eric, we want you to join this band, and you're an up and coming bass player. Everybody digs you a lot, and it's an all African band, American band, and it's all African American group of people that come to watch them, and they saw success because I got in the band. And they were jealous of that success. I would be stupid not to say, you know what? White people have had privilege over the years, and I recognize my privilege. Now I'm able to be absorbed by this group of people. Correct? Yes, it is true.
Eric, here's the problem.
It is true. That is true. Eric, so how can I put a little bit of oil on the situation?
That's bowing to the woke.
It is. But she's out nothing. She's out nothing.
You can't acknowledge as soon. That's what's happened, especially over the last 4 years. People are saying, okay, you're right. It's white privilege, or okay, you're right. It's because of that. There's been, okay, you're right. It's because I'm gay, or you're right. It happened because I'm trans, or because you're trans.
Right.
So there's always these excuses for why we're allowing all of these things to happen. And instead of just saying, you know what, I am sorry that you feel that way, but I'm not here to take your place. I'm not here to take your job. I'm here to play the same sport that you love. I love.
She shouldn't have commented on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my point.
She actually shouldn't have commented
Eric,
on it.
All of those young girls now, just like with Taylor Swift, now they go, oh, Caitlin Clark's best friends with Taylor Swift. And then they drop little bits of poison all over the place, and they sprinkle it throughout society. And that's where the issue comes. That's why, Eric, she gave in. She was not as strong as I thought she was. She caved in.
She is only 22, though. We have to remember that.
She caved to the pressure, despite her great upbringing by her white parents who were not rich, and she caved. She was not strong enough. And you know what? She's like the rest of us. She's nothing special. I thought she was special, and she's not. And that's where I come from, Eric. Now, it's not too late for her to change back, but at this point in time, she's all caught up in the glitz and Hollywood and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, who are two very bad apples.
But here's the deal.
How old is Taylor Swift, by the way?
She's got to be in her 30s.
What is she doing hanging around with a 22-year-old? That's what I'm always
because Caitlin Clark is the Taylor Swift of Taylor Swift.
Right. Yeah.
No, but because Taylor wants...
She wants to influence young people that are way younger than her. Get friends your own age.
So Madonna did. Madonna did the same thing. She would hang out with the younger.
So did Michael Jackson, and look where that got him.
Well,
I mean, I think the whole thing's weird.
It is. Look, there's no such
It's
thing
very
as
weird.
there's no such thing as racism anymore. There isn't. Don't let anybody tell you different.
You're right.
There are not people going into Quick Trips with Ku Klux Klan outfits
Taylor
on
Swift's
anymore.
35.
That is not the truth.
Thank you.
Corporations have not only there's laws against racism. Corporations have been over to show they're not racist. Colleges, people in their communities. Here's the difference. It's called culturalism.
Mm-hmm.
It's called culturalism. There are certain cultures that want to hang out with other certain cultures, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she has been placed in the middle of this all black league. She has had certain pressures because that all black league has seen her get massively rich within the course of maybe 8 months. All the corporate sponsorship money that has come her way, and the entitlement from these other ladies who have been here. Like, I've been here 8 years. I haven't made this much money. What is she going to do? She has to put some oil on the mechanism so that she can play next year without getting 14 personal fouls a game.
Well,
from women that hate her.
You said there's laws against racism and that racism doesn't exist, and it shouldn't.
It doesn't.
And for many of us, it doesn't. I do believe you're right, Eric. I do not think that systemic racism is a real thing anymore. I think that the only type of systemic racism is what is happening within the Black culture when they show up, like to Daniel Penny's court after he's been exonerated, and they're holding signs up and yelling that the KKK is responsible for this, and that white supremacy is the reason that Daniel Penny was let off. And we talked about this the other day. There are no consequences for that. So where do the laws apply? Do the laws apply only to one race when it comes to racism? Because there was no accountability and no consequences for those people standing up, yelling that, and then saying that they're basically calling death threats.
Oh, the Daniel Penny thing?
Against Daniel Penny. So, there's literally,
it's not working anymore.
KKK signs.
Yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter, because here's the deal. This wasn't Michael Brown. This wasn't Black Lives Matter has lost its power. They have. And they're going down with the fight. They're going down with the fight. They were on the steps of the courthouse.
They're like that cartoon picture where the stork has the frog in its mouth,
yeah.
and it's gonna die.
Yeah.
And the frog has its arms out the stork's beak around the stork's neck.
Yeah.
But the stork's just like, okay.
Yeah. It's game over for it. Because you know what? There's a lot of African Americans out there that are not subscribing to that, who are with white people in white corporations, white everything else.
We already saw it.
And
almost
they're
24% of Black America voted Donald Trump in to be the president.
And you're right. And one of the biggest critics of Caitlin Clark bending the knee is a Black man. And he's the one that came out and has really been and exposed her and said, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Why did you do this? But it's people like
she's
her.
A coward. She's weak, and she wants her life to be easier in the WNBA. She already has
exactly it.
She
exactly
has
right.
Millions of dollars. She's already set for life with money.
Yeah.
But her first year sucked because of what the Black female athletes did to her.
Yeah.
And the coaches and the refs. And this was the only way she could freaking make things easiar.
You know what?
And that's right. She took the easy road.
And the public, you know what? Here's the deal. The public, whether you're a 7-year-old white girl who wants to be a basketball player one day, they have the right to like whoever the hell they want to like. If they want to go get a Caitlin Clark jersey, so be it. Well, guess what? Advertisers see how many Caitlin Clark jerseys are being sold, and they're like, I want a piece of that action.
Yeah.
So the money is exponential with Caitlin Clark. This is nothing about politics. Caitlin Clark is too busy to sit in a dorm room and think, oh my God, my white privilege is driving me crazy. She's not doing that. This is a compromise. This is a compromise for Caitlin Clark. She gets to come out and go, you know what? Maybe white privilege has been a thing. I will examine myself. Whatever she said. Who cares what she said? She doesn't believe it. But you know what? It's not toxic enough to bring her career down. And it might be it might be enough for her to be able to walk on a court next year and actually shake the hand of her opponents instead of them trying to take her head off. And I think that's all that happened here. Caitlin is going to leave this little enterprise.
But it's the ramifications of her decision And what she said.
What's the ramifications?
Well, you weren't here when we read her quote. The ramifications are this: that she's trying to influence people to think that there's such a thing as white privilege, Eric.
Okay.
Her quote was, I have earned what I've gotten, but I have white privilege. This is the same thing as white people getting on knees in front of black people and apologizing to them for something that happened hundreds of years ago.
What's the privilege? I don't understand.
Well,
She's a basketball
That's
player.
what our point is.
We were asking, what is white privilege? What is it? What when she's using it in this context, or when other people are using it in a different context, what in the heck does it mean? Because like I explained a few minutes ago, I know several children and adults who are white, who have zero privilege and are, scraping and struggling to get by.
She's going to see a decline in jersey sales. You're right.
Yeah,
Logan.
I do
She
too.
will.
You think so?
Yes,
and I pray,
do.
and I pray parents care about their kids enough to say, listen, love her basketball skills. Do not love her as a person. Do not love her. And it's so hard for girls to separate from another female athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But as parents, you got to say, listen, she's a liberal. She says that you're special because you're white. It's dangerous, Eric. Those kind of quotes are dangerous. And those are the things that we need to try to move past.
And when you start literally your target point about the message that you're trying to send out has to do with skin color.
Yeah.
You've crossed the line. Why are you doing that?
But you're missing the point. Basketball is the most racial thing that we watch almost.
Absolutely.
Football is, there's a little bit more integration. There's a lot of white beef eating linemen and a lot of, in hockey, it's very white. Hockey is a very white sport, but they integrate well with the African-American players.
Yeah, of course they do.
I think
they do.
But in basketball, it's a different thing. They take ownership in that, especially women. African-American, you have two groups of people that think that they are always fighting to get to that glass ceiling. And to bring in a privileged white chick who can hit 23 pointers in a game. Wow, that's a problem. We got to deal with this.
Right. But why? But I think my question is, what makes her privileged? What makes her
millions and millions and millions of dollars that she gets weekly from sponsorships?
Now she's just lucky. Now she's just getting paid.
No, but you don't understand.
But before going into the game, what was her
irrationality?
What made her privileged?
It's irrational. Look, the Daniel Penny thing. It shows the irrationalness of their argument. Okay, the DA should never have brought the case. Number one. Number two, Black Lives Matter sitting outside saying that he was a racist when there's multitudes of other African Americans on the train going, actually, he wasn't racist. He was protecting us. And then they're still in the fight to say, oh my God, Black Lives Matter. Yay. This is racism. And we're going to now sue his ass.
Right. But they yell louder. They try to drown that side of it out.
Again, their voice is waning. It's in the wilderness. There's just all you can hear is the BLM people in the. But you know what they could have done? They could have, Vic. I think you might agree with me. They could have been the new ACLU. They could have come out and said, "We watched the tape. We watched the tape. It was an African American guy that was acting belligerently on a rail car, and no, there was no murder here." They could have done that.
But you know why they don't, Eric? How are they going to generate money for their cause unless there's
because it would have shown they had their voice was still powerful.
I thought we got you out of the 80s logical thinking.
No,
you're too smart. You're too logical.
But let's say that
stop being smart and intelligent, Eric.
Exactly.
This is 2025.
And using your brains.
Let's say that
don't use your brains anymore.
Let's say that BLM had a PR company. The PR company just said, now let's go look at the tape. If you guys say that maybe this was a justified accidental homicide, your voice will now be listened to a lot more credibility. And then when something does, it's like the sky is following. Wolf. Yes, the boy that cried wolf.
Larry Bird never bended his knee. I love it, Chris.
He didn't have to.
Because he was tough. Caitlin is a softer 22-year-old, going to be 23, who just caved, and it is what it is. I won't watch her stuff anymore, and I watched every time I could. I'm done with the WNBA.
The whole Larry Bird, done
with it.
Magic Johnson stuff, and that was the most amazing era of
Yeah, it was.
basketball.
Yeah.
No one said anything about race. Everybody made fun of Larry Bird's vanilla-ness, how white he was.
Yep.
How can you beat Magic Johnson on the court? And Stockton was another one. There aren't that many white guys that you can actually bring up in the NBA that you go, man, these are legends.
Well, yeah.
Can you? I mean, I'm trying to think.
Well,
John Stockton, Larry Bird. I'm sure I'm not a big NBA guy, but
I just Kamala going down.
Detlef Shrimp, remember him?
Yeah, Kamala going down was a great thing because she was trying to promote all of this.
Yeah,
and then she went down, and it also showed once again just how much they hated the Bidens, and the Bidens hated Kamala, and we saw some more of it. Eric, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Jill Biden ripped Kamala and made fun of her, making fun of her joy. They hate each other. And this, again, the Democrats, just like they try to push this white privilege down your throat, how they try to push entitlement, they try to push all these things that you know are wrong. They tried to push Kamala and Jill Biden down your throat. Well, Jill's now had it. So Jill's like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun with this.
Here we go.
Check out Jill. Here's Jill Biden explaining her in her own words. I love this.
You all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, I don't know, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Yeah, we aren't reading into that. We know
we
exactly.
And we feel you. We feel you, Jill. That's
Kamala's big thing was let's just feel joy.
Yeah.
For those who didn't know what that reference might have been about.
I want to know what her and Trump talked about over there in France.
I don't know. She looked like you've seen all the memes.
She was having
right?
a good. It's like,
have you seen the memes?
Well, she showed up without Joe. She showed up with her daughter,
and she was looking like this at Trump, and all the memes are like, "Find you a woman that looks at you like Jill Biden looks at Donald."
I did not see that.
Oh, and she's just like,
enthralled.
Oh, he doesn't smell like crap.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him, a leader.
Yeah,
a man with a backbone.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Did you guys hear what he said about Prince William?
No.
He's better looking in person.
I did
he's
see
so
that.
funny.
Yeah.
He just
Who's
calls
funny?
it like it is. Trump.
Oh yeah.
He said Prince William is way better looking in person.
Yeah. This is going to be such a fun 4 years.
It's going to be fun.
It's just going to be fun. Everybody keeps asking me, like, well, what do you think Trump would do with these drones? What do you think Trump would be doing with? I go, he would be winning every decision
winning.
But there's a reason he's not saying anything about the drones. Just like there's a reason that the White
we're going to get into the drones.
Just like the White House is saying what they are not, but what they're not saying what they are. They just keep saying no, they're not that.
They
really?
know.
Yeah.
They know exactly what.
And
these
if they
things
don't,
are.
we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about here. Biden again yesterday.
Yeah.
Had a problem with the teleprompter.
Did he?
Yeah,
that's shocking.
Just remember the biggest farce, the biggest lie put on Americans was him winning the 2020 election, and that he was actually going to run again. Another reminder of just how bad Joe Biden is. The guy is a disaster.
And one of the things that's going on here, they just turned off my. I'm going to go about it.
Or my what?
I lost the electricity here.
His paymaker.
Anyway, one of the things we found is that we invented the computer chip, size of the tip of your little finger.
That's right. You heard him.
That guy is the president.
What happened? His teleprompter go out?
Yeah.
Jeez.
He does not sound well at all.
This is like an
air. He's being unalived by the day. Natural process.
Yeah.
It's like a 737 coming in for a final approach landing. He doesn't have enough. He's not high enough, and he doesn't have enough fuel. Hopefully, he can put the plane on the ground.
There were people that in your band that were trying to tell you and others that he was a great president, and they were going to vote for him. as recent as 5 months ago.
They wanted to lock and load.
That's how
that
stupid
guy.
these Democrats are. That's how nasty their brains are, or how messed up they are.
Well, I think that I think they are is not stupid. I think they see the same things that we see. I think
so they're prideful.
No, that's not it.
They're prideful or stupid, or maybe both. Eric.
They're stupid in the fact that they know that it's not Biden running the show.
But how do that to your fellow American?
They like the people behind the scenes running the show. You understand? They understand what's going on like we understand. But they know that it's Biden and Valerie Jarrett and all these Democratic leaders.
That's more scary to me.
Not to them, it's not.
Then that becomes an evil thing.
It becomes
because we know what those people are about in the deep state that even Bill Maher tells us about.
They have no accountability.
I take that stuff serious.
They have no accountability to the people. That's the problem. But the liberals love what's coming out of the White House. They love the 40,000 people a second coming over the border. They love taxing the rich. They love all the stuff coming out of the White House, the EPA garbage.
But now we're starting to see some of the good stuff come out of the White House. And we saw it yesterday, which was freaking awesome. When we saw, FBI Director Chris Wray said he's resigning.
Oh, shame.
Trump's not going to have to fire him. He had a contract that was going to go through 2027. What I find interesting about the whole situation is Wray said he wasn't going to resign, all of a sudden resigns. And it was a day after there was a report that the DOJ was spying on Kash Patel, who was going to be your new FBI director. Yep. Think about that. One day after the report comes out that the DOJ, just like they did with Trump, they were spying on Kash Patel to try to get something on him, which is sad. And it shows you they'll go to any means necessary to hurt whoever they possibly can. That's what scares me. And then, of course, thankfully, Kash Patel is a guy who, is going to clean house.
You think so?
I do.
You think so? If he does a quarter of the stuff he said he wants to do, I want to go to the J. Edgar Hoover building and see the old Deep State Museum. Is what
I do think he's
I love that he said that. He said he's going to do.
Yeah,
I do.
And the first thing you see when you walk in the building is Eddie Van Halen's guitar rig. I don't know why I would put that there.
Well, and I think as far as Chris Wray is concerned, so many people are like, I cannot believe that he would go in and he's still got 3 years left and he's going to let him go. He's the one that brought him in the first place. But people need to go back and remember all of the things that Chris Wray was responsible for. I mean, forget about them invading Mar-a-Lago and going into their private residence the way that they did and looking for the documents. But we have to remember the Russia hoax. You have to remember, the collusion, the dossier. You have to remember that he was the one that protected Hunter's laptop.
Oh, yeah.
You have to remember all of these things. So if that is not abuse of power and the weaponization of this particular agency, I don't know what is.
Well, Kash did an interview yesterday upon hearing because he already knows and knew that he was being spied upon.
Are you going to be seeking retribution against Donald Trump's political opponents, sir?
Sorry, what's your reaction to that resignation? We look forward to a very smooth transition at the FBI, and I'll be ready to go.
Have you talked to President-elect Trump? He just issued a statement on Truth Social supporting you once again and saying this is a great day. Any response to the President-elect? Did he call you after the Ray announcement?
That was kind of a dumb question. Did he call you? I'm sure they talk 5 times a day.
Yep.
Kash just said, "Look, bitch, I'm going to take them all down."
Yeah, he's all business, and he's going to be all business.
He needs to shut up right now. Is what he needs to do. They all need to shut up. Pete Hegseth. I've heard Pete Hegseth is having a great. These guys are doing it like
he's not looking for the media. The media is running at him.
They all are.
Yesterday, you know what he did? Pete Hegseth. They ran him. You know what he did? He showed him the inside of his coat lining, which was American flags.
Yeah. And not to mention the guys on the ground are supporting him. This is all Democratic playbook stuff. You get some accuser in there. They didn't do it when he was on Fox News. I mean, for years and years and years, the lady signed an NDA saying we're not going to bring this up anymore, which is fair. Anybody, I always wondered about that. I said, why does Michael Jackson pay off people? Well, you know why? For things like this. I am trying to advance my career. I can't have this out there. I'll give you $20,000, ma'am, if we don't ever bring this up again. Whatever, it was consensual. There's no police report, yada, yada, yada. If you just don't bring this up again and screw up my career, I'll give you $20,000. She signed it. She accepted the payment. That's where it lies right now. There was, and that's what he is battling with all these senators about right now. But all you have to do is, if you're a Democrat activist, is use the word rape. You either use the word rape, or you use the word racism.
Well,
those are the only two things you have to do.
They try to do that with Donald Trump, convicted rapist, but they don't give you all the facts of the case, where it took place, the evidence that was not allowed in. They don't show you the interviews with the liar on CNN, where even Anderson Cooper said she was a liar. They don't do all of that.
They're emotional name callers. That's what they do. They just sling names at you, try to provoke emotion. Meanwhile, there's a lot of names that we could be calling the left, a lot. And they're not good names, but they're valid. But that's just not, we don't play it like that, And so we said last week that, all of this vetting process, which I think is fair. I think that if you're going to have people in these kind of leadership roles, they need to be vetted to some extent. But what they are most concerned about is just unbelievable, as though they are these perfect people that have had no transgressions in their past at all. All of the people that are putting these, except for some of the women right now that are examining Pete Hegseth, but most of the people in Congress have had some kind of issue. And to say that they haven't is a lie.
I'm thinking right now that this country, and you guys are going to throw bricks at me, and I know that everybody's going to say that
Eric showed up today. Here we go.
I'm a bad
person.
What
Eric is here today.
But here's the deal.
Don't tell me you think Kamala's hot again, or I'm turning off the show.
With turkey neck? Come on, man.
Okay, you've changed your mind.
Here's the deal. Right. Here's the deal. We have gotten to a point in this country where if you put a Merrick Garland in, you cannot guarantee that the Department of Justice is not going to go raid Mar-a-Lago and put lawsuit after criminal suit. You cannot guarantee that one guy as the Attorney General of this country isn't going to play lawfare. I'm starting to believe, if you actually want, now here's where you guys are going to start throwing things at me.
Okay.
If you actually want a fair and balanced country, you have to hire or elect or whatever two attorney generals, one that checks and balances the other one. The Republicans get an attorney general and the Democrats get an attorney general, and they go in as a committee and they say, we're going to go after Mar-a-Lago. We're going to go after all this stuff because it is the truth. Now, Kash Patel, whether you like it or not, he's going in with guns blazing.
Well, right.
But he's going in.
Isn't that the
he's
job
not
of
going
oversight?
He's not going in as a biased attorney general, unbiased attorney general.
Right.
He's going in there with people's.
But no,
Eric.
Why is he going in like that? Because we already have evidence,
and that's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying. We're in an era when one side doesn't trust the other side at all.
No.
Yeah,
you're right about
you have
that.
evidence.
They have culpable deniability.
Okay.
They can say, he didn't give us the damn documents.
Well, Eric.
No, but I love Eric's point to having there be checks and balance. I mean, that's
Megan,
what everything's based on. However,
when's that going to happen?
Exactly.
It's never going to happen.
And that's what I was saying.
And it shouldn't happen.
You're logically speaking, you're common sense speaking, and right now in this country, that does not exist. But like I said, would that be the job of oversight? Wouldn't that be like Jim Jordan?
This is a hypothetical.
It's not hypothetical, Vic. It's like, how did we? Because in the old days, guys,
it's not the old days, and it's not going to be
in the old
days.
You used to put an attorney general in office, and you didn't hear from them
Eric,
for 4
years.
Deep state now. Right?
There are countries that are trying to tear apart America from within, and you've even agreed to this in the past. We're not going to get Democrats. A Democrat, two position, a Democrat and Republican together. It's just not going to happen.
It was like when
I like it. It sounds sweet and cookies and lemonade and Pollyanna, but it's never going to happen.
Who was in the Mitt Romney and in the Mitt Romney and Barack Obama debate? The moderator was completely biased against Mitt Romney. She showed her bias on stage. It might have lost Romney the election. Who knows? But it was the first time I actually realized, oh my God, we need a Republican moderator asking the questions of the Democrat, and we need a Democrat moderator asking the questions of the Republican.
Right.
Otherwise, this is not going to be a fair fight. And that's the problem. The Democrats are in every corner of your life, and we got to root them out.
Well, and they're supposed to be unbiased. Those
moderators
are supposed to be unbiased.
That's a whole nother subject.
But we know that legacy media is not unbiased.
Guys, this should make you feel better.
That's unfortunate.
This should make you feel better right here. This shows me that America is coming back to where it belongs. This is what we need to see. The first president since Ronald Reagan ringing in the New York Stock Exchange today. Thank God. That gets me excited. That's a semblance of us headed in the right direction.
It sure
There's
is.
no doubt about that, Eric.
And
Melania did in 2019 for our viewers too.
And person of
That's
the
a
year.
bell.
Person of the year also on was it Time Magazine's Person of the Year?
Yep,
and it's not a
Person of the
picture of him picking his nose or something stupid. He
Oh, it
actually
looks
looks
good.
very
Yeah,
dignified.
Right, he does. Well, and speaking of just like what's going on in our economy, him ringing the bell. Did you hear Joe Biden the other day taking credit for the state of our economy, and he was mumbling about how he got us to where we are now, and he's so proud of literally he's saying this the other day. I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I'm really hearing? How awesome the economy is doing. He takes full credit for it, and he is just so concerned that President Trump is going to try and redo what he's done. And it's like, Joe, go back to taking a nap, buddy, because yes, he's coming in to completely redo. It's like his last attempts. It's like he's just hanging on to that last string of maybe convincing people that he's just done this amazing job and that our economy is doing so well because of him, and Donald Trump's getting ready to just smash it. It's like you just can't make this stuff up.
Well,
you can't.
It's like this. He's coming in with his own team this time. He's not coming in with consultants who hate him, like Milley and everybody in his old administration. But Bolton hated him. They were all the old
Isn't
guard.
Milley up for a pardon too?
Yes.
Is he?
Well,
Fantastic.
it's been talked about.
All of the old CIA guys hated Trump. All of the old generals hated Trump. All of his every single person he would put around himself in the White House, because it was the established Washington, D.C. crowd, hated him. No one liked him. Even what's her name? The chick that's on The View. What's that?
All of them.
She hates him.
But
now it's almost like he's kicking down the door with this brand new football team that's following him. The exact quarterback that he wanted, the exact tight end that he wanted all along, the exact assistant coaches that he wanted all along. And the sound of Rocky is in the air. And
that's why I'm excited.
And he's coming in, he smashed it with his foot. And he has all of these people around, and he's going to put everybody in place. He's going to call his first play. I don't even know what his first play is going to be, but it's going to be, he's going to come in on that first press conference. You go, I just want to let everybody know we'll have the XL pipeline finished tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell? I didn't even see that one coming.
It's funny that you're using that analogy about football, because that's exactly what Speaker Mike Johnson uses when he's talking about Trump coming in.
Yeah.
Them being in the same playbook. He's the quarterback. They've got to get together. They're in preseason. So that January 20th, it's season kickoff day, and they've got all their preseason plays all just perfectly lined up. He's the quarterback that's got to catch it and execute and make things happen.
And he's allowed to have 15 people on the field, not 11.
Exactly.
So he's really going to beat the crap out of it.
Yeah. And he's got, he's got cheerleaders all over the place. The hottest cheerleaders ever.
Have you noticed in the last few weeks, guys, Time, ringing of the bell, he is now, his brand is back on
That's
par.
what I was just saying.
I'm sure that the hotel bookings out of Vegas are up, New York up. Everybody wants a part of the Trump brand. That wasn't the way it was when he left the office.
That's for sure.
He's not going bankrupt anymore. He's selling watches. He's selling tennis shoes. He's selling cologne now. As a matter of fact, he liked Jill's conversation so much the other night. He now has a women's cologne called Jill. I mean, he's just doing it right.
I cannot wait for someone to tell me how that Trump cologne smells.
Let's order it.
I mean, do you think it'll be really good or really
huge?
Bad? It'll be huge.
Huge.
It'll smell so
Let's
good.
get it. Let's get it. I think we need to get one.
I mean, I can't
here.
see Barron letting his dad put out a stinky cologne.
It's going to be a parfum, by the way. It won't be a toilet. Yeah, it'll be a parfum. The scent will stay with you for a while.
No toilette.
No, it won't be musky.
Yes.
It won't be musky. It'll be more woodsy.
Yeah, I can't wait. But and there's so many questions that people are asking, like Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth and all of these new appointees. They just keep. You're going to hear the new word vendetta tour. That's what they keep. The left is now trying to push.
That's old.
You're gonna, that he's going on a vendetta tour, and I don't think that it has anything to do. I mean, honestly, if it were me, I can't say that I would not want to be on a vendetta tour. I mean, I would have so much grievance towards so many people that did me wrong for nothing. But I think that, like he says, I truly think that he's too caught up in already the success that he is seeing, and he's not even. And he's in preseason, but like just all of the world leaders that want to, have time with him. He invited the leader of China to
Xi Jinping.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Isn't it?
He invited him to Inauguration Day, as well as several
Wouldn't
other.
that be something?
As well as several other world leaders.
He'll show up
as well.
He'll show up.
Yeah, I think that would be really what a statement that would make.
Well, you know what, Trump talks out of both sides of his mouth with China. He does. He hates him one day. He's Xi Jinping's best friend the next day.
Sure.
So there is a very love-hate relationship with these two guys. You can tell. I don't know if he likes Trump or not, but
it's
whatever.
how business is going.
It's how business is done. It is.
Well,
it's
like Vic says, keep your enemies closer.
Yes.
Have your friends close
definitely.
and have your enemies closer.
Yes, that is Yes, that is the golden rule. You want to not get stabbed in the back, you better keep them so close they can't get the knife out of the back pocket. So I think you're going to see a time when Trump goes, China, I'm not just going to screw my poor people up that they can't get their little trinkets at Walmart, but we're going to do 35% tariff on everything you do unless you do A, B, C, or D. So, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting. Look, you are getting ready to be in a reality TV show every single day of your life. You're going to. It's not going to be about some bumbling ass that can't read a teleprompter anymore. It's going to be every single day. There's going to be a new and Carrie Lake is going to be the press secretary.
Well, not the press secretary.
No, I thought she was didn't she get?
No, she got director of the Voice of America.
What is that?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Wait a minute. I thought that.
No, she's not the press secretary.
Are you sure that's not press secretary?
That's Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah.
Oh, Caroline Leavitt. You're right. So you're going to see her on camera a lot. A lot. So there's going to be a lot of energy coming from the podium in the White House.
I agree with you. I think all of his picks so far are full of energy. They really are. There's just so many of Biden's cabinet members that I cannot wait just to see go. I mean, it's like, don't let the door hit you on your way out. They have just really, really just exemplified.
Who are you most excited about?
Leaving?
No, once the new cabinet comes in and they're all singing Kumbaya and they're drinking drinking mules around the White House, and who's your favorite?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. I would have to say Kash Patel, probably.
Okay.
I would have to say him. I'm glad
Are you
to see
excited
Homeland Security. I'm glad to see that.
Not all of them.
Are you a little bit Marco Rubio as the
stop it.
What?
That's your
What do you think I'm
fave?
going to
That's your
say?
favorite
You're not.
pick?
What are you going to say with Mark?
Well, no, I'm going to say Marco's he's the one sleepy dude in the cabinet.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know what I mean? He's Secretary of State,
Eric, where you
sleeping
going?
boy. But I think that's fine too. I think that he'll take care of business. I do.
You know what? I gotta take that. I think that Homan is gonna probably be my favorite. Him and Cash, I think, are gonna
Yep.
You know what? Then before we get out of here today, just listen to Homan. You got it, because he went to Chicago 2 days ago, and told them what he's going to do, because that mayor of Chicago is one of those people who has said, we're going to stand in your way from deporting illegals. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You're going to stand in the way of Tom Homan? Really? Go for it. Let's see what you got there. Here's Tom Homan talking. If I can get him up, and you will hear. Let me see if I can get this here.
Well, in the meantime, can we just say how awesome it's going to be to see Pete Buttigieg go?
Yeah. Here's Tom Homan.
If he knowingly harbors and conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute.
And while Homan says there are no plans for family separation, President Trump's immigration surrogate offered this blunt take.
You need to take the child home with you. He impedes us. If he knowingly harbors and conceals an illegal alien,
Tom
impedes us. If he knowingly
Homan,
harbors and
say it.
conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute.
Thank you. End of story. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
You have to.
I don't think that's cruel and unusual punishment. If I'm a little kid and my mom is from Guadalajara and my dad's from Central America somewhere, and they have to go back, the kid usually goes with the parents, right?
That's what Tom Homan said. He's like, no, I'm not going to separate them. Family stays together.
Yeah,
they go back to their country.
I never knew what the problem was.
Sorry,
I never understood what the problem was.
It's the bleeding heart aspect of votes.
It is.
We're going to use the bleeding heart aspect because we know we need their votes. But maybe they're changing when we saw Latinos votes at such a high rate for Donald Trump.
And don't forget, everyone, Obama deported 5 million.
It began with him.
Okay. So this sob story about how, the conservatives are just so cruel and they're tearing apart families and they're, jailing, innocent, hardworking people. You go back, do your homework and see where this all started. And if we would have had some kind of border policy, some kind, we would not be in this position.
Why can't the border policy be the exact same policy as what the security is when you go to the airport? I mean, if you just had that, if you had a TSA for the border, you had metal detectors at the border, you had secure walls with key cards that only certain people could actually get through. You could go and get yourself one of those check ID things or whatever those things are called, and then it's like whatever's good at the and if you break through one of the doors to go to the ramp, you're going to jail for a long time.
Right?
Why cannot we just implant that law on the border?
Because it's racist.
What the? Is it racist to go and hang out?
Like
No,
Kamala Harris said, it is racist to, first of all, to ask for documentation when they come across our border. And it is even more racist.
Well, then why is it not racist
to detain them?
What about some cat flying in from France that has to show a passport and ID? He'll show his luggage, make sure that there's nothing in the luggage that's illegal or nefarious.
Exactly.
Why don't they give them papers saying you got to be gone in 2 weeks? You have no green card. Your papers are not good here. But if you go over a dusty border with a coyote following you,
and claim
then you're golden.
We're all over the place. But once again, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Glenn brought up the $1,000 bounty in Missouri. It was part of the bill. We explained this a little bit the other day, but people didn't get to hear. David Gregory, Missouri State Senator, has a bill that is just trying to bring federal ICE policies to the state of Missouri. Did you know that in the state of Missouri, police can't arrest illegals? They have to be committing another crime for them to arrest them.
Yeah.
That's what David Gregory's bill's about. So basically, it guarantees that local law enforcement have to work with ICE, because there are counties in the state of Missouri that refuse to work with ICE. They won't work with ICE. And guess who put those policies in? Barack Obama. That's right. With ICE when it comes to deportation. So David Gregory's trying to do it in the state of Missouri, and I love what he's doing. And guess what? There's already money set up that if you report call lines, crimes, you get $1,000 to $2,000. It's the same thing with David Gregory's bill. So hopefully that gets passed through the Senate.
Bill 72.
And the other part of that is if you give a tip on a call lines already exist for tips on crimes that get solved, you get paid. That he's just adding it when it comes to illegal aliens.
Mm-hmm.
If an investigation takes place and an arrest goes on your tip, you get paid $1,000. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's where you get the $1,000. We did have him on the show on Tuesday. We'll get him back onto the show again. The problem was we were doing the show and not knowing that we'd got knocked off. So I'll get Dave back on. And Dave's deal there. So the bounty hunters don't exist. They're licensed bounty hunters already.
Mhm.
You can't just go, hey, I want to be a bounty hunter. You have to do everything it takes to become a licensed bounty hunter. You can't just call and say, hey, I'm going to go ask for your identification. That's where that bill is.
I don't know if you guys saw Keyhole's little interview, but he was basically saying, hey, we're going to focus on the police department in St. Louis because they want to take over the police department. And then the second thing he goes is immigration in Missouri. And I was like, what does that mean? You know, that could go one of two ways.
Yeah.
No, they're getting, no,
I guess not. I guess not.
Yeah, he is.
But he's going to get, but they are going to make a concerted effort to wrangle all the illegal aliens in the state of Missouri, I would imagine.
No, they are. And that's one thing I'm glad that Dave Gregory was pushing forward. He went to the border back in March as well. You need more politicians who don't just talk it, but actually put information out. Yeah, Dave's been on Fox, News Nation, Newsmax, the local TV stations. But this is the problem. You still have local news. They saw his bill and they put out the words bounty hunters and they tried to make it seem like he was racist. KSDK did that, then Fox 2 did it. Same thing in the St. Louis area. Yeah. They don't even try to find out what it's actually about. But anyway,
we just had a local woman a few days ago that was kidnapped by
wonderful
from a bar.
But they apologized later, so everything's okay.
Oh, right. No, so this illegal this illegal kidnapped this woman, took her to his brother's home, which is really close to where we are right now. And she was able to get away and contact the police. But and this kind of stuff happens all the time, whether
don't
you're
get drunk or
not,
and leave bars with strange men.
Yeah,
that's the other part of the story.
That is. That is. Well, we don't know. We would assume that if she was at a bar, she made a dumb mistake because she had one too many. But we're not sure that she was. But either way, don't come over. Don't think that you can come over here and start gangbanging in our country. We've got enough problems. So you keep your gang stuff in your country, and if you're going to try and do it here, you need to be.
I remember when I lived in Seattle, Washington, the most liberal state on the planet. When I lived in Seattle, the ICE vehicles were very visible. There was an ICE facility that they would bring illegal aliens. It looked like an abandoned warehouse that had chain link fence around it. And they were not in any way, shape, or form apologetic about gathering up illegal aliens. And I imagine they were sending them back to whatever country they were coming from. So, but then that all changed. I can imagine seeing the same thing here in St. Louis, that they make it visible, that you will see ICE trucks or ICE detention vehicles of some sort, because it has to happen.
It does have to happen.
I'm sorry. There has to be a deterrent to come to the United States when there's a bunch of people that are doing it properly behind you. You want to talk about being pissed off? What if you're in line for 6 years and you see a bunch of people from Central America walk over the border and you're good?
Right. These are all just great points.
And we appreciate.
There's nothing wrong with trying to, follow the law. There's nothing wrong with it.
And we appreciate everybody joining us today. Eric, glad you could get in, my friend. Always good to catch up with you.
Sorry I was late, guys.
Be sure to check us out on all of our social media channels as well, where we put the reels in. We are grateful for your help from that standpoint. That does it for the fastest hour plus of podcasting when it comes to local headlines, national headlines, everything that's going on with this world as we enter 2025. That's the podcast for December 12th. Thanks for watching. From Eric Johnson, Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day, and we will catch up with you later.
See you next week.
Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together.
Training? What is that for?